Who is the customer? Who's the supplier? As a lean champion, these two questions will become a fundamental part of your journey. Before you can define value from a customer's perspective, you must first understand who the customer is and who the supplier is. A customer is any party that receives or requests goods, services, or information. The supplier provides or fulfills the customer's request. External customers are traditionally represented by an individual or an organization that pays you money. However, customers can be both internal and external. Let's look at each one to understand them both a little better. External customers are the people that pay you money or some other form of compensation in return for a good, service, or information. One key difference between an external customer and an internal customer is that the external customers are not connected to your enterprise. Hence, they are external. This basic model of a supply chain will help you understand. In the model, we see one echelon for suppliers, one echelon for consolidated warehouses, one echelon representing a manufacturer, one echelon for distributors, one echelon for wholesalers, and one echelon for retailers. Retailers in this case buy from a wholesaler, distribution center, or other raw material suppliers. As you can see, these echelons are upstream from their customers. Thus, when an exchange occurs, the retailer pays the appropriate echelon in exchange for the product or service they are purchasing. There are two defining characteristics of the external customer. The first is that an external customer is not connected to the same organization as you. They are a separate entity, but may reside in the same echelon or even in the same building. To put it simply, they are external of your organization or your entity. The second characteristic of an external customer is there is an exchange of capital or the agreed upon cost for a specified service, product, or information. The external customer pays for the service or product they are receiving. Internal customers, on the other hand, are sometimes harder to understand than external customers. Not because the concept is difficult or overly technical, but because we do not look at our internal customers as customers. Instead, we see them as co-workers or teammates. The internal customer is the person within your organization that you pass your product, service, or information to. This can be inter-plant demand, inter-process demand, or even inter-operation demand. Let's look at an example to help us understand internal customers a little better. On the screen, you will see a manufacturing process laid out in steps. First, a worker pulls raw materials from stock, then another worker delivers the raw materials to the machining center. After the materials arrive, someone will load the raw materials onto a machine. Next, a worker begins to machine a part. When the part is complete, it is removed from the machine and delivered to inspection. Finally, an inspector will inspect the part. In this case, the individual who delivers the raw materials to the machining center is the internal customer of the individual who is pulling the raw materials from stock. Likewise, the person who pulled from stock and gave to the person delivering in steps 1 and 2 is an internal supplier. As you can see, even within the organization, we have internal suppliers and internal customers. With a basic understanding of the customers and suppliers in our value streams, we can now begin to define what activities customers consider to be value added and non-value added. This will help you and us identify and remove waste and ensure we are doing our best to only pass value along to the next customer. Borrowing from a famous quality slogan, we should not accept waste, make waste, or pass it on. Until next time, my friends, keep in mind everyone around you is a customer somehow. Until then, keep on improving, and we will keep on giving you solutions that ignite your power.